Àwọn bàbá wa ń wọ́ wa lókè, wọ́n filẹ̀ yìí sí ọwọ́ wa, ṣùgbọ́n a gbàgbé ohun tí wọ́n ń sọ. À ń jagun ara wa lójú ọ̀nà, à ń ta ìtàn wa lọ́wọ́. Bí a kò bá rántí ibi tá a ti ń bọ̀, báwo la ṣe máa mọ ibi tá a lọ? Ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn bàbá ṣì ń pè wá nínú afẹ́fẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ohùn ilẹ̀ ń ké pé má ṣe gbàgbé ẹni tí ó jẹ́. Kí a ronú Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan, kí a gbé ilẹ̀ wa gọ̀. Kí a ronú Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan, kí a dá àṣà wa bọ̀. Kí a ronú Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan, kí a mọ ara wa dáadáa. Kí a ronú Yorùbá kọ̀ọ̀kan, kí a pa ìtàn wa.
Yeah, welcome to our event tonight. Adúpẹ́ ní ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè tí wọ́n ṣọ́ wa láti ọ̀sẹ̀ tí ó kọjá ti di ọjọ́ ìní. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ń dùn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ sí nínú pátí la wà. Ayọ̀ tí Ọlọ́run ti fi sí wa ní ọkàn, tí Èdùmàrè fi sí wa ní ọkàn, kò ní di ìbànújẹ́. A kí yín káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Orúkọ tèmi ni Abíọ́dún Bákàrè, and pẹ̀lú mi ní orí ètò ní àṣálẹ́ yìí ni Madam Àjọkẹ́ láti ìlú Germany. And I also have with me Barrister Femi Ogutimai from UK, and also I have with us Anike from Germany also, who is managing our Twitter account, and ààrẹ náà wà bí ìsìn, ààrẹ tó jẹ́ olórí wa ní TYF. Kí a tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ní àṣálẹ́ a kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ káalẹ́. Madam Àjọkẹ́, ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kí àwọn èèyàn wa nínú ilé ká tó bọ́ sórí ètò, ká tó bọ́ sí àgbàmì ètò.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ káalẹ́ bàbá Bákàrè, ẹ ṣeun gan. Ààrẹ ẹ káalẹ́ o, mo kí yín o. Madam Àjọkẹ́, mo kẹ́yìn náà o. Gbogbo Barrister, mo kí yín o. Mo kí everybody. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wá, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà wa, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà. A dúpẹ́ o, ẹ ṣé gan o. Bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ, tí kò bá sí ẹ̀yin, kò sí àwa. Thank you so much. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní bàjẹ́ o. Ilẹ̀ baba ńlá wa ni. A gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ láti má jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́. Ẹ ṣé gan o, thank you so much. Ẹ ṣé, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà. Mr. Bakare, over to you, sir.
Okay, kí má gbàgbé Madam Àjọkẹ́ náà tó wà ní Èkó. Àwọn ní engine wa, àwọn ló bá wa dáàbò bo engine wa, tó ń rí pé gbogbo atẹ́gùn ọ̀rọ̀ wa ń bọ́ sínú afẹ́fẹ́ láì ní any issue. We thank her very much. We appreciate what she's doing at the back end and at the back room. Thank you very, very much. Ní àṣálẹ́ yìí, there was a program we started earlier that has a part 1, which is Restructuring of Nigeria in the Fourth Republic. In our previous session, tẹ́ bá rántí, a gbé ọ̀rọ̀ restructuring a gbé yẹ̀wò. And we also saw that it's the most debated issue in Nigeria's democratic journey. You know, a bí èrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa ń gbà yín pé ǹjẹ́ ó tiẹ̀ ṣe kókó ká restructure ìlú yìí? You know, whether the country's current challenges like the rising insecurity and ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀, over centralization of power, the economic imbalance, and the growing distrust among our constituent nationalities, these are symptoms of a deeper structural problem. Gbogbo ẹni ààrẹ bá gbé yẹ̀wò ńgbà náà, a rí i pé nítòótọ́ bí ìlú yìí ṣe wà, kò sí òdodo láàrin, kò dé sí ìfẹ́, àfi tá a bá ń tan ara wa nìkan ló kù. A rí i pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa kàn ń ṣiṣẹ́ ni, à ń jíjẹ èrí, àwọn kan máa ṣiṣẹ́, àwọn kan máa gbowó, àwọn kan kàn wáyé bí pé wọ́n gbọ́ wáyé máa ń kọrin ní orin tí wọ́n máa ń kọ nílùú Yorùbá nígbà wọn ní àwọn kan wáyé wá ṣiṣẹ́ o, àwọn kan wáyé wá gbowó, àwọn kan kàn wáyé wá ń gbowó lọ Nàìjíríà ni. Many things are just not right about the country. Òun la ṣe ń béèrè fún restructuring. So ní àṣálẹ́ yìí, we will take that conversation a step further. If Nigeria truly needs restructuring, what exactly should be restructured? Should power return to the regions? Should states control their own resources? Should there be a state police? Which adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ president wa olórí wa fún ọ̀rọ̀ tí state police tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ń sìn. Should the executive legislative list be reduced? Gbogbo kíní wọ̀nyí ni ààrẹ máa bá àgbéyẹ̀wò ní àṣálẹ́ yìí, because these are not merely constitutional questions. These are questions about justice, accountability, development, and the future of a country made up of many historic nations. Are, you're welcome to take the mic and give us what you have for us tonight. Are ń bá ti pẹ̀lú, okay, yeah, I think it's back now. Are káàbọ̀ tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi o. You're welcome. I hope you are there, Are.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much. There was a lot of disturbance as regards the audio, so I don't know what's going on, but tonight is going to be better than last week by God's grace. Thank you so much.
Good. Very, very good.
Thank you so much, the production team and the pre-production team of this wonderful program, which I believe is one of the greatest places on the surface of the earth, where issues, geopolitics, intellectualism, and ideology is being discussed. I want to thank Mr. Bakare, Madam Ajoke Pedro, the other Madam Ajoke, Madam Anike, and Barrister Femi, and a lot of others, technicians and engineers that are behind the scene to ensure that particular program and episode is a success. I greet us all in the name of Olodumare. And I want to thank the wonderful people that are currently on Twitter space. May Almighty God continue to be with you. I also want to thank those watching us on Facebook. I want to thank those watching us on TikTok, those listening to us or watching us and listening to us on YouTube. God Almighty God will continue to be with you. I greet us once again in the name of Olodumare. I also want to say congratulations to all Nigerians. Congratulations to the people of the Southwest. Congratulations to all Yorubas throughout the world for the safe return of the captured and kidnapped children and teachers by terrorists, Islamic jihadists and fundamentalists that kidnapped our children at Orire, Ogomosho. May Almighty God continue to be with our land. I also want to thank us that for the past 5 days, we've seen, I think the past 1 week, we've seen the release of close to over 100, between 70 to 100 kidnapped young men and women, children, kids, by non-state actors. The first good news came from Ekiti. Another good news came from Oyo State yesterday. I also want to say that really thank those of us, for many of you that used your Twitter handles, your Facebook page, you used your voice to continue to push, to make noise, in order to ensure that our children are released, in order to ensure that the government is pressured to act. Those of you that did not toe the line of political correctness, in order to ensure that this particular good news, great things actually happened. May Almighty God continue to be with you and continue to uphold you. Um, I would also want to thank. I also want to thank the Nigerian military for doing a human job to ensuring that these young men and women were released. And to those who paid the supreme sacrifice, who were killed in the line of duty while trying to rescue these young men and women, these wonderful souls, these great people, may Almighty God continue to be with your families. And we want to advise that the Nigerian government, they actually take care that they take care of the families of those that actually lost their lives in the line of duty. Today I'm a little bit sober. I'm sober because this was a very, very trying time for us as the Yoruba people. This is the first time, this is the first time that terrorists, Islamic fundamentalists, have actually attacked a school in the region of Chief Obafemi Awolowo and captured our children and used them as a bait, as a leverage for their own political Islamism. We also want to thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for ensuring that all resources were deployed in order to ensure that the lives of our people are safe. And those that try to use this ugly episode for political reasons, may Almighty God really help you, because this was not a time for politics. It was a time for us to understand that this is extremely important. When I mean extremely important, this particular period is extremely important in the survival of our people. Today, we are discussing a very important topic, which we started last week, which is the restructuring of Nigeria in the Fourth Republic. Because the term restructuring has been one of the most politically charged campaign mantra that has continued to happen in Nigeria since the First Republic. And restructuring actually means it's another word for true federalism. For different political parties, especially from the Fourth Republic, from PDP to AD, from Alliance for Democracy to AMPP, from AMPP to CPC, from CPC to APC, they've actually used to ACN, everybody from different social-cultural organization and social-political organization, from Think Yoruba First, social-political, cultural and social-political organization, to Afenifere, to Yoruba Council of Elders, to Anese Indigo, to Middle Belt Forum, to Arewa Consultative Forum. They've actually used this particular mantra in order to be able to ask and demand for federalism, or
Ààrẹ,
their own version of federalism.
can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, good. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀yin ará ilé, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Twitter, Facebook àti YouTube, please help us to retweet the space and whichever handle you are on, so that algorithms can help us push this to our brothers and sisters worldwide, and they can all join us on this discussion, because it's loaded for us tonight. Thank you. Ẹ ṣé ààrẹ.
thank you very much. Every single one of us need to be sober. We've celebrated it since yesterday that our children have been released, but it's a time for sober reflection. What exactly is going on? It has been confirmed by the president of Nigeria and by the security forces that those that were responsible for the kidnap of our children belong to a terrorist Islamist fundamentalist organization called Ansaru. In Nigeria, we have more than 6 to 7 terrorist organizations operating from the northwest to the northeast to the north central. Now, they are currently operating in the southwest. And what is Ansaru? And who are Ansaru? Ansaru is a splinter Islamist fundamentalist organization that broke out of Boko Haram. So Ansaru should be technically called Boko Haram, but mostly they are Boko Haram responsible for the Middle Belt and North Central of Nigeria. Now, in the Northeast, there are 2 major Islamic fundamentalist organizations, terror organizations, with international support that have been battling the Nigerian state for the past 16 years. The first one is Boko Haram. The second one is ISIS. And Nigeria has been fighting them for 16 years. And we pray that we win this war. We also have another group of terrorist organizations which are mostly ideologically and theologically driven Fulani herdsmen, Fulani militias that are killing, that have killed tens of thousands of Nigerians, displaced millions of people from their ancestral homeland, and they are asking for land as a means of for them to stop killing Nigerians. Nigeria has been battling them also for over 80 years. If you also look at Ansaru, Ansaru is the forward base. Ansaru is the forward base of Boko Haram, of ISIS, of Al-Qaeda into southern Nigeria. And don't also forget that we also have Al-Shabaab, those that killed scores of worshippers at that Catholic church at Inowo were actually linked with Ansaru. They were actually linked with Al-Shabaab. So what am I trying to say? It is not a matter of when, of how. We already have terrorists in Yoruba land. We have active terror cells in Yoruba land. What is currently happening, what has been happening in the Northeast, what has been happening in the Northwest, where those 2 regions in Nigeria have become the hotbed of Islamic extremism, has now come down into Yoruba land. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters that are listening to me, these people want to create chaos, and these people want to destroy the southwest of Nigeria. If you destroy the southwest of Nigeria, they are going to create the ripple effects that they need for their own apocalyptic ideology within Nigeria. Even in the world, we need to understand the mindset of terrorists. Terrorists can only function, jihadists can only function in ungoverned spaces and in disorganized spaces. That was why immediately, if you look at Somalia, you look at Sudan, you look at Central African Republic, you look at Syria, you look at Libya, you look at Mali, Burkina Faso, Congo, Mozambique, Pakistan, Afghanistan, many of these countries that have failed, where the governments do not have a monopoly of violence, where there are so many ungoverned spaces and there are so many internal collaborators, it has been very difficult for the government of the day to be able to solve this problem and to be able to nip these jihadists in the bud. But I'm begging us as Yoruba people, what the jihadists want us to do is for us to paint and generalize all Muslims as terrorists in Yoruba land. I am begging us and I'm pleading to us, we must not fall into their trap. We must not continue to say, oh, it is all the more Muslims are terrorists. We must not say that. We must not fall into the trap that these jihadists are planning for us. Don't forget that one of the things they asked for, apart from the fact that they wanted an Asaru commander, battle commander to be released to them, they wanted they wanted Sharia law to be implemented in the southwest of Nigeria. Even though the government has denied it, but as somebody, as a good student of history, some of us understand how terrorism works. That some people have used terrorism as a tool of political negotiation and a tool of political power. If you study IRA, the Irish Republican Army, especially in Northern Ireland, they were bombing, they were killing, they were destroying, they were committing all sorts of atrocities in order to be able to create fear and terror, and in order to be able to negotiate with the British government. And I think some people, in their own quests, that they believe that the political route and the diplomatic route, in order to turn Nigeria to an Islamic theocratic state, they believe they have to take up arms against the Nigerian state. And in order to untwist the Nigerian state, to give them what they want. So we are fighting a very, very symmetrical and asymmetrical warfare, which is why whether you are Yoruba Muslims, whether you are Yoruba Christian, whether you are Yoruba Isheshe, this is the time to preach Yoruba unity. The kind of message, the kind of ideology that Think Yoruba First organization preaches is not an ideology of hating Yoruba Muslims. It's not an ideology of annihilating and isolating Yoruba Christians. And it's not an ideology, it's not an ideological framework of stigmatizing Yoruba traditional religious adherents. Because for us to survive as a people, for the Yoruba people to be together, for the Yoruba people to thrive together, for the Yoruba people to be in one unison, the Yoruba people must see themselves as one. The Yoruba people must come together and isolate these diabolical people in our midst. If we look at places where religious sectarianism has destroyed those places in history, I'll start from the home ground. What destroyed the Oyo Empire was religious extremism, where some people wanted to replicate the jihad that was happening in Sokoto Caliphate. And they brought terror and destruction by turning Yoruba against Yoruba, which is why some of us said the fight that happened in Ilorin, that happened in North Tefon, that happened in Obushogbo, was a fight between extremist Yoruba people and patriotic Yoruba people. So we are witnessing history happening again, and we must not repeat history. And we must be very, very careful that we do not fall into the hands of our enemies. Like I said, terrorism is now in Yoruba land. We pray this is going to be the last. of what Boko Haram, I'll continue to call them Boko Haram, North and South, what they did in Oyo State. But unfortunately, this we must be prepared for more. Many people thought after the attack in Ondo State, it's Yatowo. That might be the last. Now we've seen that it's a full-fledged attacks against the Yoruba people. You go to Somalia, you go to places like Somalia, or you go to places in Kenya, where from time to time they have terrorist attacks. Because in order to be able to scare and put terror into the minds of people. If terrorism can only happen in Yoruba land, because terrorism can only happen in Yoruba land if we have internal collaborators. So the internal collaborators in our midst must be isolated and prevented from causing damage. Which I said today, I'm going to be solemn and I'm going to be calm. I'm begging the Nigerian government. We cannot continue. I am begging the Nigerian government. We cannot continue to buy bullets when we're supposed to buy books. People that are Salafist, extremist, Wahhabi preachers, people who preach hate, people who preach religious intolerance, people who preach political Islamism, people who attack the secularism of the Nigerian state, people who attack other people's religion, people who preach intolerance should not be allowed to go scot-free in Nigeria. If we are taking care of Mohammed Yusuf, we will not be fighting another war for we have been fighting for the past 16 years. If we had nipped people like Abubakar Shekau in the bud on time, we will not be fighting this war that we are fighting. We have people that are preaching like Mohammed Yusuf and Abubakar Shekau are now in Yoruba land. They use Facebook, they use Twitter. Some of them are doing APC politics. Some of them are doing PDP politics. Some of them are doing Labour Party politics. We have them in our universities. The government knows them, but for political reasons, the government is not picking these people up. It is better we sacrifice an unrepentant, it is better to sacrifice a damaged, irreparable minority for the sake of the majority than allow this minority to destroy all of us together. We are begging the Nigerian government, and I'm begging the Yoruba people that are listening to me. We must not become like the Northwest. We must not become like the Northeast. And we must not become like the North Central. If you see something, say something. If you see people radicalizing young people in your area, in your schools, we inform the Nigerian police, inform the Nigerian security apparatus and network. If you see something, say something. Do not keep quiet. Do not keep silent before they turn your Yoruba land into Sudan. Our mission and our prayer is that no matter what happens in West Africa, no matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens in Nigeria, Yoruba land must be immune from the madness that is ravaging the entire civilization of mankind, where some people have picked up arms against all governments of the world in order to propagate their diabolical ideology. Like I said, these people are politicians. They are doing politics. They are not practicing Islam. And when we see them as politicians, we'll be able to isolate them, and we are going to prevent them from becoming the spokesperson of Muslims in Yoruba land. And we need to support pro-Yoruba Islamic preachers. We need to support pro-Yoruba Islamic clerics. We need to support moderate Yoruba Islamic preachers, people who preach peace, people who preach moderacy, people who preach religious tolerance in Yoruba land, people who are committed in ensuring that Yoruba land is secure, Those are the people that all of us need to support. We must not, you cannot call yourself Yoruba nationalists and you are preaching hate. You are not, because you hate against Islam or Christianity or Isheshe, you cannot. If you are a part of TYF, if you are part of TYF, you cannot. If you believe in the message God has given me to the Yoruba people, you cannot join places and groups where they preach hate against, unprovoked against Yoruba Muslims. Where you cannot join groups where they preach hate unprovoked against Yoruba Christians. You cannot join people that preach hate, against Yoruba Isheshe, because we have no other land. We have no other place than Yoruba land. That is the only place where we are not going to be regarded as foreigners, because it's our home, it's our homeland. And we must be able to compromise and make sure that Yoruba unity works. Yoruba Christians can never be exterminated in Yoruba land. You cannot erase Yoruba Muslims in Yoruba land, and you cannot erase Yoruba Isheshe in Yoruba land. It is impossible. So we must try as much as possible in order to ensure that Yoruba unity is a must. Unity is one of the most difficult things to achieve. We must work together. We must coalesce together. Pan-Yorubanism must be our goal. We cannot pursue pan-Islamism. We cannot pursue pan-Christianity. We cannot pursue pan-Africanism. We must pursue pan-Yorubanism to ensure that we survive as a bloc in Nigeria, as a bloc in West Africa, and as a bloc in the world. Now, let's talk about restructuring. I'm a reformist. I believe in reformation than revolution, because I've studied so much revolution in the world, and most revolutions have never ended well. Most revolutions have never actually given, revolution has actually produced more tyrants than good men. After the French Revolution, it led to Napoleon Bonaparte. After the Russian Revolution, it gave rise to the rise of Stalin. After the revolution in the Hausa city state, it gave to the rise of Uthman Dan Fodio. After the revolution in Ilorin, it gave rise to the Alimi dynasty. Revolution destroys. Oftentimes, the indigenous people who believe they are oppressed, anytime they orchestrate the revolution, they are always on the losing side. Look at the NSAS. What was supposed to be a fight against police injustice became Operation Destroy Yoruba Land, became Operation Capture Lagos. And it was extremely, we almost lost, Yoruba Land was almost burnt to the ground because of NSAS. So revolution is very, very chaotic and very bloody. Go and look at the Iranian Revolution. The leftists, the students, they organized a revolution, they organized a protest in order to be able to fight corruption. What happened? They ended up with a theocratic dictatorship that took away their secular rights till this current moment. So there was a protest this year. And when that protest happened this year, I'm talking about 2 months ago, close to 20 to 30,000 Iranians were murdered in cold blood by the Iranian Ayatollah regime because they wanted to undo the damage they did in 1980. So this is why some of us don't support revolution. Because in revolution, there is always a caucus within a caucus. There's always an agenda within an agenda. So that is why revolution is extremely dangerous. So which is why we believe in reformation. Those of us that believe in reformation, we believe in restructuring. So what exactly are we restructuring in Nigeria? What exactly is wrong in Nigeria? What exactly do we need to restructure in Nigeria? Why do we need to restructure Nigeria? Nigeria cannot practice a unitary system of government because it is a diverse country. It is criminal for anybody to say that Nigeria should practice a unitary system of government because Nigeria is a diverse country. It's a diverse country. So because of the diversity of Nigeria, Nigeria must practice federalism. Federalism is everybody mind your business. Everybody should grow at their own pace. There is no successful multi-ethnic multi-ethnic country on earth. There's no successful multi-ethnic, religious, diverse country like Nigeria that does not practice proper federalism. You look at Belgium. Belgium has three parts: the French part, the Dutch part, and the German part. They practice a form of federalism. Same thing in Switzerland. Same thing in the United Kingdom. Because it pictures there's no multi-ethnic country in Europe, in Western Europe, that does not practice true federalism, that does not practice ethno-linguistic federalism. So where exactly do people that continue to think that they can create they can homogenize the Nigerian people into a Nigerian identity? It is not just dangerous, it is a genocidal behavior, it is a maniacal ideology, it is a diabolical ideology, it is an unintellectual ideology, inhumane ideology that has turned Nigeria into this cesspit of instability. So we have to understand that for Nigeria to be successful, there must be ethno-linguistic federalism. We need to desensitize the talk about ethnicity. Anytime you mention Yoruba, we all know that there's Yoruba phobia. A lot of people are Yoruba phobic in Nigeria. Anytime you mention Yoruba, especially from the south and the southeastern part of Nigeria, especially from the southeastern part of Nigeria, they don't even want you to speak Yoruba language. They feel insecure when Yoruba language is being spoken. Then what sort of country is that? Why should people be feeling secure when you come to a Yoruba space that are ruled by indigenous Yoruba kings and we speak our language and you start feeling insecure and you start harassing, you start intimidating and accusing Yoruba people of tribalism for speaking Yoruba language, accusing Yoruba people accusing them of bigotry for speaking Yoruba language. Nigeria is an amalgamation of ethnic nations. Nigeria is an amalgamation of civilization. So it makes sense to say this person is an Hausa Nigerian. This person is an Hausa Nigerian. This person is an Hausa Ghanaian. That does not mean those people are not patriotic to their country. It makes sense to say this person is a Yoruba Benenua. This person is a Yoruba Ghanaian. This person is a Yoruba Nigerian. This person is a Yoruba Togolese, which was why we tried as much as possible to tell people that people should not feel insecure when we say think Yoruba first. When we are talking about think Yoruba first, we are talking about thinking about our identity as a people so that we do not implode, so we do not self-implode, we do not self-destruct due to the religious polarity within Yoruba land. This conversation that we are having is extremely critical because it lays the foundation for why Nigeria should be restructured. And why some people, we need to tell people, you cannot continue to say Nigeria should go back to 1963 structure. The ethnic minorities are not going to listen to you. The ethnic minorities in Adamawa are not going back to the old northern region. in Jos are not going back to Ahmadu Bello. The ethnic minorities in Calabar, in Rivers, are not going back to the region of Nnamdi Azikiwe and Okpara. It is impossible. We need to understand that one of the things that led to the failure of the First Republic was because the ethnic minorities wanted to control their destiny. So we have to understand that there are deep differences within Nigeria. The inability to understand these differences is why some people are going to be saying that you want to destroy state of residence, indigenous rights, state of residence. It's impossible. And we should not be making this kind of statements because we want to show patriotism. That's not patriotism, it's false patriotism. If Switzerland is practicing your type of patriotism, Switzerland would not have existed as a country again. Belgium would have ceased to exist. Scotland would have left United Kingdom. That was why Ireland left the United Kingdom, because the Irish believe that the British English were trying to erase them and assimilate them to become English people. And they fought the English for more than 500, 600 years because of this singular issue. That's why you're going to see that Welsh language, Gaelic language, even the Scots are bringing their indigenous language back in order to be able to show that they are different. And being saying people are different does not mean they are all not patriotic, because it is just common sense for you to defend yourself, to protect your identity. You go to the Middle East, the Druids are still protecting their identity and saying they are not Arabs. The Kurdish people are fighting for the past 1,000 years to say they are not Arabs. What about the Iranians, the Persians? They tell everybody they are not Arabs, we are Persians, even though we are Muslims. The Turkish will never allow anybody to call them Arabs, even though they are also Muslims. So what exactly is it that when ancient powerful civilizations like Yoruba people, even though by accident of history or by act of God or act of faith, we've now become Nigerians due to the European imperialism, say we want to be Nigerian Yoruba people within Nigeria. We don't want to collapse our identity. We don't want our identity. We don't want our identity to be homogenized into a Nigerian identity. This is what Yoruba people we are saying as regards to ethno-linguistic federalism and restructuring. What are the things that we need to restructure? In 1999, some of the things that were on the exclusive list. Now, Nigeria asks for layman. I'm going to explain two fundamental terms: the concurrent list and the exclusive list. Now, the concurrent list are things that the state government, local government can do. They can undo. While the exclusive lists are the things that are in the hands of the central and federal governments. If you study world history, you understand history very well. You go and study empires. You are going to see that the 1999 Constitution, Nigeria was crafted to become a republican empire. That was not a federal state. Nigeria is running unitarism. And when we say the glorious era of Nigeria, because some people say, oh, let us make Nigeria great. Let us make Nigeria wonderful. Great. Let us make Nigeria wonderful. Nigeria was only great in the First Republic. Nigeria was only great in the First Republic. And how was Nigeria great in the First Republic? Because there was a modicum of ethno-linguistic federalism. Even though minority agitations and the hegemonic aspirations of certain blocks within Nigeria actually tore the country into pieces, and which led to the civil war. Till date, from Niger Delta militancy to IPOB insurgency to Boko Haram and the violent uprising where some people are saying they want Sharia law in a supposedly Republican and secular states, is what has turned Nigeria into a battlefield and to a land that's supposed to be flowing with milk and honey. It is now flowing with tears and blood and sweat, which is why restructuring is extremely important to prevent the final disintegration of Nigeria. Anybody saying Nigeria should not be restructured, Nigeria should not be reformed, that power should not be decentralized into the constituent federating units is an enemy of Nigeria. When power is over-concentrated in the center, in a multilinguistic, multi-religious, multi-ethnic, multi-tribal country like Nigeria, that country is going to be fighting. It's going to be buying bullets instead of buying books. You need to understand what Nigeria is all about. Don't miss words. We should not miss words as regards to what is going to happen in Nigeria. There's a reason why Syria has always been in a state of war. There's a reason why Iraq has always been in a state of war. Because those countries, one way or the other, have always been practicing Unitarianism. One of the things that the Kurdish people have been fighting for in Syria is that they wanted true federalism. And Turkey has been lobbying even in the international environment, in the international community, to ensure that Syria practices a unitary system of government, which is why Syria is never going to know peace, because it is a command and control. It is a command and control structure. It is a command and control architecture. So that is the kind of ideology that was brought into Nigeria. And we understand what is actually happening because some blocks in Nigeria want to continue to perpetually control Nigeria forever. Yoruba people, I want to tell you something. I think we should stop believing our brain, our sophistication, our mindset, our omoluabi, our prosperity can make us immune from the madness that is happening in other places in Nigeria. I have studied history so well that the more I've noticed that the most advanced, that your advancements, your technology, your brain might not save you from marauders who are going to exterminate you from the surface of the earth. At the golden age of Islamic civilization in the 13th, 14th century, 12th, 13th, 14th century, there was no city like Baghdad. It was the center of knowledge all over the world. There was no city like Baghdad. There were millions of books. They were studying astronomy. They were studying medicine. People were coming from all over the world to come and study in Baghdad. The same Baghdad in Iraq. They had one of the best inventions. They were so great. They were so advanced. But let me tell you something. When the Mongolians came and they invaded, the Mongolians are just nomadic marauders who are just killing. They killed millions. They killed almost one quarter of the entire world population. That was what the Mongolian Empire did. They will kill and kill and kill and kill. In fact, Genghis Khan called himself the judgment of God on mankind. When they got to Baghdad, they wiped out and killed. In fact, they killed to the extent that for days, River Tigris, Euphrates was red with human blood. Until date, the Islamic civilization has never recovered till now. That was the end of the sophistication of the scholastic age of Islamic civilization. It was destroyed. It was marauders. It was desert warriors. People that were coming from the steppes, that were ideologically backward, that destroyed. the Islamic civilization, golden age of Islamic civilization. They killed all their professors, burnt all their universities, destroyed thousands years manuscripts. They didn't have internet to save their manuscripts. Imagine everything that has been discovered. You are still writing it in books. You keep it in a big house. Somebody goes to destroy it. So there is nothing to keep this record. Now we are lucky we have internet that you can go and save it. You can put it in USB drive. That was how a thousand year civilization was wiped out from the surface of the earth by the Mongolians, who do not have the brain. They cannot invent anything. They could not build. They were not as sophisticated like the Arab scholars then. So your brain, your intellectualism, feeling that you are sophisticated and civilized than the rest of Nigeria cannot save you from being destroyed if you don't have something to protect yourself within Nigeria. You have to find restructuring is what is going to protect you in Nigeria. And what are the things that can protect you? State police. State police is extremely critical. If you look at the people that play a crucial role in the release of our children at Ogbomoso, local vigilantes, Amotekun, and other security agents, local security apparatus played a crucial role. So you look at the case of Iraq, when ISIS was about to go and alienate the Kurdish people in Atabil, in Kurdistan, a self-autonomous region in Iraq, which is ruled by the Kurds. It was at that time, the Iraqi army was already dead and buried. It was the Irish, it was the Kurdish, it was the Kurdish paramilitary forces and other non-state Kurdish vigilantes that stood up and was able to defend Kurdistan from ISIS. When the Yazidis were being turned into sex slaves, when the Yazidis were being slaughtered, when the Iraqi Christians were being sold as slaves and wiped out, when the Iraqi Shias were being killed and alienated and erased from their land, the Peshmerga Kurdish people were able to fight to defend their land from ISIS, which was populated by many Arab Sunni nationalists who are from the former Saddam Hussein-backed army, which was overthrown by the American invasion that happened that led to the death of Saddam Hussein. You need to understand the way the world works. You need to understand. So state police is extremely critical. Awolowo wanted state police in the First Republic, couldn't get it. This is the closest Yoruba people will ever get to ensuring that we fulfill the dream of Awolowo, which is state police. Prison has been decentralized, meaning state governments can build their own prison, can have their own law, prosecute criminals based on our own reality in order to keep law and order. One of the reasons why the Southwest is the most advanced subnational bloc in the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa, it is because there is law and order. It's because we have an inherent cultural civilization that has been able to keep this place sane. And we had a leader called Awolowo. We are very, very lucky. We are very, very lucky that we have such people. We have such leaders that has emerged in Yoruba land. So, but let me tell you something. The way other people are trooping into the Southwest, they're not just coming to be able to come and earn living or to flee from the horrors of Boko Haram that is happening in the north, that is happening in the east, that is happening in North Central. They are also bringing their ideology into the Southwest. This is the problem. We see what is happening in Western countries. When people are going to leave Afghanistan, they are coming in into America, they are coming into UK, they are coming into Scotland, they are coming into Belgium. When they get into those places, what are they doing? You go to a Christian country, you go to a Christian country with a great empire like United Kingdom, and the next thing is you're asking for Sharia law. So there's a problem. So that is the issue. We've seen what is happening because the Igbos are trooping into the southwest, and this is an ethnic baiting. And we saw what they did in the last election, where they were quoting the Nigerian constitution and saying that they have the right to control and determine the outcome of who rules, controls local politics in Yoruba land. And these are the kind of things that led to the failure of the First Republic, because the Igbos were in charge of the eastern region, but they did not allow the Ikweres, they did not allow the Ijos, they did not allow the Ogonis, they didn't allow the Efiks, they did not allow the Anaks, they didn't allow the Bibios to control their local politics. And this was why a lot of agitation. That was why ethnic minorities will continue to thank God for breaking up the regions and creating this 12-state structure. Even though the 12-state structure has still not done justice to Nigeria. Because the reality of Nigeria is that some people want to keep the Madam Fodio structure the way it's supposed to be. They want to keep it intact. And it is impossible. The days of caliphate is over. The Yoruba people are going to fight hard. Every other ethnicities are going to fight hard to break any yoke of creating a caliphate in the 21st century over the Yoruba people. Whether through theocratic domination, or through political capture, or through political takeover, or through brute force, like we are currently seeing across Nigeria. So I was talking about state policing that is currently being happening. We hope that by the end of this year, we are going to have state police. I also want to talk about. I've talked about prison, so it has also been it has been decentralized. I also want to speak about electricity and railway. Awolowo tried everything possible to ensure that electricity, railway was devolved to the regions. But Azikwe, who was a Unitarian, who believed that the unitary system of government favors the survival of his own people, who are the Igbos within Nigeria, he fought against it. He fought against the implementation, or he fought against the things Awolowo was talking about. That let the regions also control power generation, power transmission. Let the regions also, the subnationals, the federating blocks, the federating units, let them also be in charge of railway. He said no. So you have to understand. You have to understand the reality that we currently have. And we need to be very thankful to Almighty God that the Yoruba people have been able to become politically relevant, especially in this Fourth Republic, which is why we are seeing that gradually the powers that the federal government is controlling is gradually being decentralized. So we now have railway. So your state can build its own railway. Lagos already built its own railway. Kano can build its own railway. Kano can build its own railway infrastructure. States in the northwest can come together and manage and build their railway infrastructure. They can build their own electricity. So we now have in Nigeria, which is going to happen in the next 10, 20 years, where in Nigeria where Osun State can build its own power in autonomous power generating units, where they can have 24-hour electricity in Osun State. And you can still be struggling with 4-hour electricity in Bauchi, because that is how Nigeria should be. Human beings are not the same. Every human being have different capacity To say that all human beings are the same is one of the biggest errors, the biggest lies in the world. Every human being have their capacity. In a class, you are going to see students that are extremely brilliant. And we also have different comparative advantages. Some people are so good in IT and technology. You see some countries, you see Germany, they are very good with manufacturing and complex industrial tools, industrial machines. What about Japan? They are so good in electronics. You see, you look at America. America is the home of IT, AI. Different countries, different comparative advantages. You also different advantages, different, they have they have their strengths. You also look at Belgium. Belgium is so powerful when it comes to, when you look at Holland, rather. Holland is so good when it comes to food production. No country can match them in Europe when it comes to food production in Western Europe. So you cannot, you have to, so that is this bringing all these advantages together that should make Nigeria what it is. Not saying that everybody must be unitary. It is impossible. So what we have in Nigeria is unitarism. What we have in Nigeria is not unity. It is unitarism. It is uniformity. And they are calling it patriotism. Nigeria should be prosperity in diversity, not unity in uniformity. If you see the old generals that used to be in the Nigerian army, all these past military head of states, you have to understand that what they used to talk about is unity. Is unity. You look at all these old generals, you look at Obasanjo, you listen to Babangida, you listen to Obasanjo, Babangida, Gowon. All they talk about is unity. They don't talk about prosperity. But we need to be talking about prosperity. Prosperity is extremely important. Prosperity is extremely critical. And for Nigeria to be prosperous, Nigeria must be decentralized. Some of the things that Nigeria needs to be further decentralization that needs to take place. We need to practice ethno-linguistic federalism. We need to answer the question, why should the Yoruba people of Kworoki State not be in the Southwest? Why should the Yoruba people of Kwara State not be in the Southwest? Why should the Shekiris in Delta State not be in the Southwest? Why should the Akokos, the Usain people in Edo State not be in the Southwest? What do we do as regards the Yoruba people, the Olukumis in Delta North? These are fundamental questions. This is not secession. This is a form of self-determination within the Nigerian state. And nobody should be afraid. Nobody should try as much as possible to gaslight or to manipulate us from asking these fundamental questions. Because we believe that Nigeria should have ethno-linguistic federalism the way it is done in powerful countries of the world. Switzerland is one of the has been the top most prosperous country for the past 100 years in the world. If Switzerland that is practicing ethno-linguistic federalism is prosperous, so why should Nigeria not practice it? Should we maintain the empire, the caliphate of some people in Nigeria at the expense of the survival of the rest of us? Those are the questions we need to ask. Should we sacrifice the survival of the over 100 ethnicities in Nigeria because we want to sustain the nomadic ideology of the Fulanis and the Igbos because they are scattered all over Nigeria? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. These are the fundamental questions that we need to properly break down. And we must not allow anybody to manipulate us from talking about these hard things, because everybody have their priorities in Nigeria. The priority of the Yoruba people, it should be this, different from the priority of the Igbos. The priority of the Igbos is different from the priority of the Fulanis. In Nigeria, we've seen the government is always saying there's not enough money, both state and federal government. But we've seen what state governors are doing in the northern Nigeria, where they spend billions monthly to create, to ensure that Muslim to conduct mass marriages as their own dividends of democracy. That's the kind of thing they are doing. We've seen how they empower and pump billions into religion. One of the biggest industry in the core north is religion. So how do you have a productive society that way? This is where fiscal federalism comes in. Why should we be productive in Yoruba land? Why should they be productive in Rivers, in Akwa Ibom, in Calabar, and you are taking 70% to 80% of our revenue and sharing it based on land, population, and the number of local government that was created by the military juntas from the core north? So which is why Nigeria has not been able to fulfill its potential, because we reward mediocrity, because we reward backwardness, we reward laziness, we reward people that are not supposed to be rewarded. That's not true federalism, and that is not patriotism. We are Nigerians by forceful amalgamation. It is very, very wrong for us to continue to think we can be taking resources from one part of the country to be taking care of another part of the country. That was what led to the Niger Delta militancy. That was what led to the Niger Delta militancy that wrecked Nigeria, and Nigeria has not recovered till now. Because that was what led to the Ogoni uprising. That was what led to the killing of Ken Saro-Wiwa. We've lost tens of thousands of lives, if not millions of lives, because we refuse to take the interest of indigenous people to heart, which is why I have said it over time, many times, military have no business in Nigeria again. God forbid, if the military have to come back and say they are the only ones that can fix Nigeria, then that means Nigeria does not need to exist anymore. The military brought the culture of corruption, institutionalized corruption in Nigeria, and bastardized the differences and nepotism. They destroyed the military destroyed the secularism of Nigeria for their own diabolical political advantage. So another thing we also need to talk about that we are hoping in the second term of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in the change in the derivation formula. I spoke about the derivation formula last week, that in the First Republic it was 50%. Now we hope that the derivation formula, because you can devolve power and say the government, the state government can control this, they can build this, they can build that, they can build all those things. But the state government do not have the money to be able to, the federating unit do not have the money to do all these things. Then the decentralization is useless, because you want to build a railway in Ibadan, you want to build a railway in Ogun State, in Ijebuland, you want to build a railway in Abeokuta metropolis, and you do not have the money to do it. It's useless. So the states needs to be given some emoluments. There needs to be given incentives to be able to build, to be able to generate more funds so that they can be able to run their state properly. Lagos is doing great because it has the financial power and financial means to do that. If you don't have the financial means to do it, you cannot be able to achieve it, which is why the derivation formula needs to be changed. And the core north has no excuse anymore. Nasarawa, Zamfara, Katsina, Kano, Kaduna are one of the richest places on the surface of the earth. At least we can make excuses for places like Borno State like Adamawa and Yobe, at least and say, oh, because these places have been being affected by terrorism, we can continue to sustain those places. At least the government, a particular fund can be can be kept aside for those places for the construction purpose. But the entire part of Nigeria we need, because there's more money now, so then the derivation needs to change. Derivation needs to change. Nigerian the derivation should not be less than 30%. 30% should be kept. The people where the money is being made, they should be able to keep 30 to 40%. Or in the First Republic, it was 50% before Angoyin Rossi and his fellow Zikis destroyed Nigeria. Which is why it is not out of hatred. It is not common sense. It is absolute madness for this particular, for somebody to come from the core north, or somebody should come, or somebody that is a Biafran apologist, to now be giving us lectures about federalism. No, you cannot be part of, you cannot destroy a country, you cannot destroy the lives of tens, millions of people, you cannot mortgage the lives of Nigerians and be telling us that you are going to be part of the solutions. So it's impossible. So these are the kind of the gathered things. So which is why some of us, the gathered changes that are happening in the Nigerian constitution. So by the time they also change the derivation, they say the state cannot give 50% of what they generate. State police and the concept of the regional blocks. People that really want to become, if you want to form regions together within the context of Nigeria, and nobody's going to stop you. So if you can be able to do that, so I don't think, and we have to solve the issue of ethno-linguistic federalism. One way or the other, we've been able to do a huge chunk, almost 70 to 80% of the unbundling of the unitary system of Nigeria. A great country can only be great. A great country can only be great, especially multi-ethnic, multi-religious country, if it has a natural, if it has a natural, if it has a proper system. Nigeria is running a bad system, which is why it is very easy for some people to come from the southeast and bring 300 to 500,000 voters and come and be determining political outcome in the southwest. That's not politics. That's invasion. That's a democratic conquest. That's a democratic coup. So a lot of things has happened. And I have to say this, most of the reformation, constitutional restructuring that has happened in Nigeria started between 2015 to this current moment. Buhari might not be the best leader. Buhari might be a Fulani supremacist with some of his policies. When he wanted to take lands from indigenous people and give his own people, supposedly in a country like Nigeria with the kind of history we have, the audacity to be able to making such move. But we can understand that the restructuring that took place, we cannot deny that the restructuring that took place under Buhari did not take place under PDP, under Abacha, under MPN, and under NCNC, NPC of the First Republic. And we hope that Tinubu actually does this. We believe that what Tinubu has done is first in the First Republic in Nigeria is political. What he did is economic restructuring of Nigeria. Now it's going into the proper, which is state police, which is the first thing he needs to do. By Second Republic, we should be able to do more. My brothers and sisters, as Yoruba people, we must understand one thing. What favors us might not favor the Igbos. What favors the Igbos might not favor the Fulanis. Okay, you look at the Fulanis, They continue to talk about Sharia law, even though their land has been ravaged by terrorism. We are even telling them, keep your children after your children are roaming, billions of the children are roaming the streets. Do something about it. They don't talk about it. They are more interested about politics and power. What about the Igbos? They are more interested in how to capture Lagos and how to control the politics of Abuja and how to become equal co-owners with indigenous people across Nigeria and how to get access to the sea. That's what they are pushing. That's what they are pushing. But as a Yoruba man, what's your own priority? Your priority is to is for your states, is for your people to have as much constitutional and legal power and rights. Get it from the central government so that you can be able to protect yourself in Nigeria. You can be able to build prosperity for yourself in Nigeria. You can be able to build power for yourselves in Nigeria. You can be able to become extremely powerful for yourself in Nigeria. You can be able to build wealth for your people in Nigeria. How your schools, your universities are going to do the best. How your industries are going to do the best. How your economy is going to be the best. How your women are going to, your pregnant women, while pregnant women are going to give birth safely, where you're going to have the best hospitals, the best health system, how you are going to stop the brain drain, how you're going to ensure that everybody wants to build, how you're going to turn your region into the Hong Kong or Macau of Africa. So we must look for any law, any opportunity that will ensure that we are able to achieve that. Should be what we are supposed to go for. So that's what we're talking about. We will not marry continue to be with us. It's extremely critical as Yoruba people for us to know that. And we are apart from the South, it is the South and the Southwest that are surely going to gain more from restructuring. Because both of us, we are not landlocked. We have access to the sea. Those are the two regions to access to the Atlantic Ocean. Those are the two regions that are extremely rich in oil and gas in Nigeria. Those two regions also have borders. The Southwest has borders with West Africa. The South has borders with Central Africa. So you need to, so that is why the the Southwest must find a way to always be in political alliance with the South. It's extremely critical. And the South must always be in political alliance with the Southwest because we share a lot of things in common. We share a lot. Our priorities in Nigeria is almost the same. Our priorities in Nigeria align at least 60 to 70% compared to the rest of Nigeria. So we must find a way to work together. And those two regions have the capacity to fund any political agenda within Nigeria. They have the population, they have the brain power to push any political agenda within Nigeria. And if you look at Tinubu's government, it's also built on Southwest South alliance. That's why you see that a lot of Southeast political leaders are trying as much as possible to infiltrate, to get crash this alliance, because they understand that they are no longer part of the movie, which is why the first thing you saw Tinubu started is the coastal road. That road is no more than a road. It's the handshake, a diplomatic handshake between the Southwest and the South. So for now, we must continue to pile pressure. We must continue to add pressure so that we can get everything we need in Nigeria. It's the bitter truth. We are just starting all over again. I know the country is hard, my brothers and sisters, but the foundation Tinubu is laying, it is what is going to bring back the golden age of Awolowo back to the Yoruba people. And by the time we get it, we are not going to be sitting ducks anymore. We will surely have what it takes to secure our interests, even by force of arms within the Nigerian state. Thank you, everybody, once again. It's been a wonderful conversation. May Olodumare continue to be with us. Congratulations to all Yorubas for our children that has been brought back from captivity. Over to you, my host, sir, Amma.
To Are, ẹ ṣeun. Thank you very much for the beautiful lecture you've given us tonight. We'll be having series of comments and kudos to you. It's just wonderful. From Facebook, one Mr. Tope Akiyemi Oni, my brother, you really make sense. So what we need was a true federalism whereby self-determination will be guaranteed to aid quick development, and the antecedent of PBAT has been clamoring for this, even out of power. So Mr. Abukumi from YouTube says 70% of the region of origin, 20% to the center, 10% to distributive pool. Yorùbá gan àwọn míì lè nǹkan bóyá ń pín gbogbo kíní wàhálà nìkan ló yé. Mr. AK Queen ní pé there is no successful multi-ethnic, multicultural country in the world that is not practicing ethno-linguistic federalism. Òótọ́ ni. Ìgbà tó ń sọ pa àtẹ̀sọ̀ pa revolution nìkan ní revolution turned the Hausas to Fulani slaves. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. And Mr. Yoma is our regular on YouTube, said no place for Sharia, terrorism, and religious extremism in Yoruba land. If you are a collaborator or a sympathizer of terrorism, your days are numbered. God bless PBAT. God bless Yoruba land. Eshigoni, thank you very much for all the comments. Please still keep them coming, okay? We appreciate them very much. Sister Nicola, Twitter, kí la rí gbọ́ o? Can you hear her? Okay, yeah, that's good.
Because we want this restructuring so bad. And there is no way we are talking about progress and we won't be talking about restructuring. So I think people might have questions. I never entertain questions because a lot of people have a lot of things to say and go congratulate gbogbo wa lórí àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n padà sí. Pé ọ̀tá àbájọ wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá Ọlọ́run ìjẹ́ Ọlọ́run ìjà. Àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ president wa president Bọ́lá Ahmed. Iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe àmọ́ lórí o torí tí wọ́n bá ṣe náà àwọn láṣẹ ya. Àdúpẹ́ o ẹ ṣé o tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ wa. Obìnrin àkànṣe iṣẹ́ fẹ́ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń béèrè ẹjọ́ request mic. Tẹ́ bá lọ́rọ̀ tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ. Mr. Biola,
bóyá ti sọ́ọ̀pà ẹ̀ wọ́n rí lórí TikTok mo ṣe ń tan fóònù látàárọ̀ mo bóyá ti sọ́ọ̀pà ẹ̀ ni mo kọ̀ pé that was quite impressive. I enjoyed what I read. Wọ́n sọ pé ìjọba gbé gbogbo fámílì àwọn tó kidnap that was crazy. Mi ò rí àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n dẹ̀ tẹ́tí wọn ẹ bá pa ẹ́ ní ọ̀nà àpàní a máa pa àwọn tàbí. I caught somebody wà ní military person, ó lóun lè sọ kọ́kọ́. Ìgbé pọ̀ tó wá tí mo rí lókun títọ̀ mi láìpẹ́ kò jẹ́ pé pẹ̀lú ṣe lọ ní ẹ̀ka ọ̀gá ìjọ. That was the first. Nǹkan gbogbo ìgbà tó ń kí ìgbà àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ jẹ́ tara. Àwọn èèyàn sọ pé àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ ti di ọlọ́mà ta wọ́n. Kò tán jọ́ sọ pé àwọn orí ẹ̀ ọ̀gá ẹ̀ ẹ má bínú pé kìnìyàn òjọmọ́ tọ́pìkì tó wà ní ọ̀rọ̀ náà bínú pé kò lè just
gbogbo ẹ̀ náà máa ń sọ ààrẹ ti sọ ní àtìlẹyìn state.
Okay, sorry, I just see online látàrọ. So I was just happy pé ìjọba ṣe pàtàkì fún ìsìnkú because great. Ẹ kò ṣe gbogbo lé. Yeah, thank you ma.
Ẹ ṣe kan Mr. Abiola. Ṣé mọ̀ pé tí wọ́n ní kí ẹni tó kàwé tó bá fẹ́ ṣe òbí tí ẹni tó kàwé tó bá fẹ́ ṣe òbí báwọn méjèèjì ṣe máa ṣe ó máa yà. Ìdí tí a ṣe lè fi ẹnikẹ́ni wé President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So ó tún wá jẹ́ Yorùbá kan. Bí oníkàtúntì tó máa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ó máa yà. Ìdí tó ṣe jẹ́ pé à ń dúpẹ́ kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ sọ ta fẹ́ sọ lọ ta fẹ́ sọ bọ̀ káàdì dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ president. Iṣẹ́ takuntakun náà ṣe gbogbo àwọn ministries wa, gbogbo àwọn law enforcement agencies, gbogbo àwọn local vigilante, gbogbo wọn náà láyé ti kí earlier. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wọn o, gbogbo wọn la dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Àwọn tí ẹ̀mí wọn bá lọ káwọn ọmọ yìí lè kú. Ọlọ́run ní fi àwọn ẹbí wọn sílẹ̀. Àwọn tó ń fẹ̀mí wọn lẹ̀ fún ìlú. Kí Olúwa bá wa tẹ́ gbogbo wọn sáfẹ́fẹ́ rẹ̀. Okay, I have some people. Mr. Lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́ yẹn káàbọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ kalẹ̀. Ṣé wàá bẹ̀?
Ẹ̀ka mo wà ń bẹ̀ ọ́ ẹ̀ka ló máa ń. Yes ma, ẹ ti fẹ́ takuntakun ọlọ́run á fún wa lérè o. Yeah, I just want to talk about the recent meeting that was held at Kaduna by the northern leaders. Understand? I think the meeting was held on Wednesday, and for the first time, we are seeing the Sultan of Sokoto talking about that they want to come to police, which such statement has not been something that we have expected before. And why they tell that because wọ́n ti rí iṣẹ́ Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu. This man is not going to give. This man already understands the essence of democracy in this country and is pushing down what they anticipated. And if you look at it, the body language among them is showing their tongue. If we did not join the train now, it means that they are going to collapse. And most of the things that the president is putting towards them, they come. You have an arena. You should be the food basket obligation, you can take it that way. Instead of you trying to undermine other regions, resources, and using your own particular aspect of financing theory. And this alone again brought me into the recent what's it called? Tambua was holding the North-West regional commission in place. Can you imagine, without no any tangible infrastructure in place, the North-West Development Commission, overhead cost is running up to the billion naira, whereby Tambua was introducing the leadership of the commission and said, no, Why can you show us the type of uh, project you are putting in for the Northwest Commission and your right source is also a junior? I'm telling you, your guess is as concluded as mine, meaning that, most of these people don't understand what governance is all about. And the right restructuring is on the table, and the right policy system is already taken care. And Tabakutu, and MRE, they understand the right world is going to drop, and that is the major one everybody is looking for, meaning regional governance. And this regional governance is not going to be a tight anymore. You earn what is given, and if what you are putting on the table is not going to be something that your people is going to benefit from, you can't sponsor terrorism into another person's region, and that alone is still going to be done. And no matter how they say they want to put their gang up against the 2027, we are standing strong, we are standing very, very viable to defend our vote against any opposition. I want to assure you that. And again, there was this meeting that was held yesterday in Abuja, whereby all the leadership of Karo will be together, and they are trying to solicit votes for our president. And I think CRO has to be part of it, which I didn't see, that I believe because maybe one of these maybe we are not informed, the leadership is not informed concerning regarding the meeting I was just today. And I just want to thank the whole house. I want to thank the efforts to everybody you don't shit, everybody don't fire for that. You are not alone. Uh, ignore àwọn ètò ọ̀nà wọn. So my let me drop out this document, and I want us to look into all these if there's any important topic that has to do with Yoruba and development and ramping up votes for our leaders to be part of. And I wish us all the good luck. Thank you very much for the leadership of QIS. We are proud of you, and we are proud of what we are doing. So, the show will fail. Thank you for the privilege.
So I said you are responsible, but you have to unmute yourself on them, Marina.
Thank you so much. I've just got, thank you so much, Mr. Alegbele. I just got some, can we, in ariwo ń pọ̀ from underground, so you can have a clearer audio from X.
Now we're getting echoes.
Yes, then apart there, then be fun, it used to be better than this.
I
So maybe we have to,
I would mute myself and you have
okay. I just hope it's not coming from the studio. Kinapani it was. Okay. I hope people in the studio, people in the studio can also be have fun or anything so that people can enjoy us. Eshi?
No, everybody's good. We are good.
Okay. Thank you so much. I also want us to know that we have just 20 minutes remaining, so that we can quickly time people, so that a lot of people can also participate. A lot of people ask me questions. Some people sent me questions. So one of the questions I saw is that they said that Northerners are complaining that Yoruba people did not join them to shout when children were being kidnapped in the north. I don't understand how to answer this question. Wọ́n ní tí iná bá bà léèyàn lára, ọrùn ara èèyàn lèèyàn kọ́kọ́ máa ń gbọ̀n. That's number one. Number two, ẹ̀yin lẹ wò sùnsùnsùn that you are not interested in a secular Nigeria and you want to bring political Islamism into your society. So why then should we suffer for your madness? The reason why restructuring is so important is that the rest of Nigeria, some part of Nigeria, are not going to take us down with them when things go wrong in Nigeria. That's why what restructuring is all about. When Iraq collapsed, Kurdistan did not collapse with Iran. Because we know the reality of Nigeria, we don't need to deceive ourselves. Some value system in Nigeria is anti-modernism. Any civilization in the 21st century that wants to be sending rockets to Jupiter, rockets to the moon, rockets to that want to be sending rockets to all these places, that want to explore the world, must separate religion from the state. This is fundamental. It must separate religion from the state. If we refuse to separate religion from the state, we will not be able to fulfill our potentials. But unfortunately, this is what is fundamental. China did it. India did it. Japan did it. South Korea did it. Russia did it. America did it. The entire Western Europe did it. Even Turkey did it. Turkey is the most, modern Turkey nation was built on secularism after the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Even though the Arab countries might be oil rich, they are not as advanced as Turkey. If not for Turkey, Israel would have dominated the entire Islamic world. Because Turkey is innovating. Turkey has been able to separate religion from the state. But you have a region where you fuse religion and the states together. And you want to compete. You want to think like us. You want to behave like us. Impossible. It's impossible. Which is why you've not been able to solve the Almanjiri problem in your region. It's impossible for you to solve it. Because you've been able to fuse religion and the state. And your religious leaders are also your political leaders. The political leaders and the religious leaders are the same. The power of the mullahs, the Islamic clerics, is equivalent to the powers of the political leaders. So it is virtually impossible for you to be able to liberate and save yourselves. Possible. But in the southwest of Nigeria, Pastor Adeboye does not control political power in Yoruba land. Sheikh, imagine if Imam of Ibadan does not control the political powers in Nigeria, in Yoruba land, which is why some of us are speaking against political Islamism. Because you must understand that eternal vigilance is the price you pay to keep your civilization from destruction. It's not because when we say you cannot, everybody is moving. Ataturk Kemal was a Muslim. And he understands why you need to separate religion from the states for you to be able to attain modernism. The Yoruba civilization is a powerful, intact civilization. If need be, the whole of Nigeria should adopt Yoruba civilization. Even though they're already shouting Yorubanization and Yorubanization agenda. Is it not better for them to be Yorubanized than to be Fulanized? It's the bitter truth. At least we are not going to be using cow to destroy their lives. They're already enjoying go and bed. They're already enjoying our culture. They're enjoying our music. They're already enjoying our gele. They're already enjoying our lanewedu. They're already enjoying our life. We're already giving them so much. It is they're already enjoying our social currency. It is a bitter truth. So for them to, so we need to understand that if the core knot does not separate religion from the state, it can never develop in the next 1,000 years. Which is why the core knot is producing terrorist organization than any region than any place in the world. Because religion has become the biggest industry in the core knot. So the core knot, and that's if you speak about this, they start accusing you, Islamophobia, Islamophobia, Islamophobia. They start saying all sorts of those nonsense. So which is why we want to restructure Nigeria. This is why we must restructure Nigeria. So that you're not going to take us down into hell with you. It's the bitter truth. So this is so don't life for Yoruba Awalogun. When Jews, Hamas captured Jews, you see the way the Jews did not rest. They went to war to secure the lives of their people and even bring back the dead bodies of their people. That's how powerful race, civilization behave. But she come on Yoruba, one life of a Yoruba man or woman or child is, I'm sorry, we must be protected at all costs. We don't give a damn. You speak for yourself. That's why we say Nigeria is a nation or is a country of nations. Nigeria is a country of nations. Nigeria is a country of many nations. Nigeria is a country of many civilizations. So, brother, me tell you a question here. It's like it's like the way the Southeasterners nationalists used to complain, oh, they didn't give us support. You guys have support. They didn't give us support. Shawala ni pe kan baba, kan ancestors yin mo ni access okun ni. Akola ko ba yin now. Shawala ni pe kan ancestors yin ma build the empire ni. Torí ẹ ni mo máa wo gbo yin mo Yorùbá tó pé ayọ̀ ti fọ́ lórí. Ẹ na ma gbé ẹ ma bu Ifẹ̀ empire. Ẹ ma bu Ọ̀yọ́ empire. Ẹ ma ba orúkọ ara yín jẹ́. What some people, Mama ba Ondo jẹ́ kingdom jẹ́, Mama ba Ọ̀wọ̀ kingdom jẹ́, Mama ba Ìbàdàn kìíní jẹ́, ìtàn kìtàn ẹnu yín ni wọ́n ti sọ ẹlẹ́dọ̀ máa sọ. Àwọn ìtàn Japan, ìtàn South Korea, ìtàn Saudi Arabia, ìtàn America, ìtàn China, ìtàn Singapore, bó ṣe di world power. Tó ẹ kí Nàìjíríà learn, tó ẹ káwọn Yorùbá learn níbẹ̀. Bí Poland ṣe di economic power ní 21st century, lè rí tàn yẹn sọ. But àwọn tàn tó máa ń tú ilé, àwọn tàn tó ń sọ ọ̀rẹ́, tó ń sọ wọ́n di ọ̀tá, ìtàn tó ń dá civil war sílẹ̀, ìtàn tó ń gba aṣọ nídìí ìyàwó ilé, ìtàn tó ń dalé onílé rú, ìtàn tí ò tó lé lẹ́jọ́kòó lẹ́sọ̀rí pọ́njẹ́rán lẹ́nu máa sọ pé ṣe intellectualism, and it is not true. Torí bí tẹ́ ẹ ti ń survive nìyẹn, it's in chaos. So the Yoruba people must understand. That's the fundamentals of think Yoruba first. Ìyà ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ Yorùbá nínú Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe ẹrú nínú Nàìjíríà. Yorùbá ò gbọ́dọ̀ mọ báwọn ṣe opposition nínú Nàìjíríà. Wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ Yorùbá máyé nínú Nàìjíríà. Ó wà insultive. Kí north west of Nigeria ó ní 7 states. Kí south west wá ní 6. Kí south east tí ò tó Ọ̀yọ́ state wá bá sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ ní the same state pẹ̀lú wa. Ó wà insultive now. Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ lè wà lọ́pọ̀síṣàn kẹ́ẹ̀lọ́, lè wà lọ́pọ̀síṣàn kẹ́ẹ̀rí ọ̀rọ̀ sọ. Torí ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ bá wọn activists gbọ́dọ̀ bá wọn rìn. Àwọn ń sọgbú tápá mọ́ títí wọn ní kásáré gbé táyà. Kásáré ju táyà ìṣẹ́yú sọ sí ojú títì, kásáré sọ náà sí. No point for intellectualism, no point, no reasoning. One way traffic ni. Àwọn fẹ́ regionalism. I mean, you can't break regionalism down. Let us break this federalism down. Let us break the reality of Nigeria down. Kí ló pé Yorùbá, kí ni Yorùbá need? Any Dawn Commission, any Southwest Development Commission, Afenifere function. And to think Yoruba first organization. Yoruba people are so lucky. I'm sorry, Yoruba ò mọ yìí. Yoruba ò mọ yìí. That's why many of us, when they started attacking Dawn Commission, many of us, they attack Dawn Commission. Because there is no organization like Dawn Commission in the Southeast. There is no organization like Dawn Commission in the Northeast. There is no organization like the Dawn Commission in the Northwest. There is no organization like the Dawn Commission in the South, in the Southeast, in the South. And you can see the way we are organizing and building. So Yoruba people, I appreciate it. Fomisi. The scandal from one way or the other. Owó North-West Development Commission wọ́n ti ń kó jẹ. Owó North-East Development Commission wọ́n kàn jẹ múlẹ̀ àwọn jẹ súyà lọ́gbẹ̀ yẹn ni. Owó South-East Development Commission wọ́n náà ń kó jẹ. Àwọn North-West náà ń tú àṣírí ara wọn síta. Pé kí ni Regional Commission táwọn ní wọ́n ti jí. South-West ní sọ pé ìfẹ́ ní train. Ìfẹ́ build. You want to become powerful. So you need to understand. Priorities oníkálukú yàtọ̀. Kẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ lọ gbé EFCC 200 ní wá. Àwọn people yìí ò lè change. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi Europe ṣe example fún yín. Romania àti France wọ́n jọ wà nínú Europe ni o. European ni wọ́n o. Òyìnbó làwọn méjèèjì o. Àwọn méjèèjì jọ wà nínú Roman Empire ni o. Ta nínú yín ni ó wù. Igbo fẹ́ lọ pé òun travel out Romania ló fẹ́ lọ. Ta ló fẹ́ lọ Romania náà yín? Ìyẹn pa àwọn Romania gan sá lọ France. Wọ́n sá lọ Germany gan lọ ṣàrù ń bẹ̀. Àpàrẹ mọ́ bẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe lága. Wọ́n ṣe lága.
Almanjiri, Europe Almanjiri.
Europe Almanjiri ni. Wọ́n dẹ̀jọ́ wà ní Europe ni. Wọ́n jọ wà ní Western Europe ni. So nínú Nigeria ń sìn. Ṣé mi ìfẹ́ dárúkọ àwọn state kan. Ẹ̀ṣẹ́ máa tán pé làgàtú. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí máa tó tó àwa Yorùbá. Ṣáàjọ wà ní state àjọ wà ní Nigeria ni. Because our value system is different. Our value system is different. Yoruba man ò ní kú o. O ebi máa pa ni ó máa mú ebi mọ́nú ni. Whether a Yoruba Muslim or Yoruba Christian or Yoruba Ìṣẹ̀ṣe, a Yoruba man is not going to leave Ondo or Ekiti or Ibadan. Kó wá lọ sí Maiduguri kó lọ mọ́ tọrọ owó. Kó wá mọ́ ṣe bámbẹ́là. Yoruba man ò ní ṣe. He will never do it. Lè rí Yoruba man. Kó tí ọ̀daràn jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Kó wá lọ Anambra kó lọ mọ́ fọ́ báǹkì ń bẹ̀. Or kó lọ sí Kano kó lọ bá wọn fọ́ bank. Yoruba man will not do it. We don't export our vices to outside Yoruba land. We don't have the audacity to be committing crimes outside our region in Nigeria. It is other regions that come to do it because our value system is different. This is what the Asians understand. Our Asians, you understand there, ye one. One of the Chinese value system is different. The Chinese value system is different from the Japanese value system. They understand that the Indian value system is different from the Persian value system. Today, there is nothing called Pan-Asianism. There is nothing called Pan-Europeanism. It does not exist. So why are we now talking about Pan-Africanism? Irú value system wo ló wà lára àwọn tó rìn ho tí wọ́n ṣe ọmú sílẹ̀ nínú bọ́n ṣe ọdún ní South Africa àti relationship Yoruba people ní Ifẹ̀. Ṣé value system wọ́n wà the same? We have different value system. And there is and that's why it is criminal for you to now say you want to forcefully homogenize and create one single identity. Not possible. That is why the Yoruba talk Brazil, Cuba, they refuse to diffuse and melt their identity. I want to finish some weeks back, last week. Ọba wo ni àwọn ọba wo ló lè kúrò ní Africa. Ló lè lọ sí South America and North America. Tádẹ̀ lọ bá àwọn èèyàn ìbẹ̀ tán ṣíwà tán survive the Atlantic slave trade. None. So we have to understand that the reality of Yoruba people is totally different. Mo ti dáhùn question bíi mẹ́ta o from different people. Ẹ ṣé.
So, ẹ ṣeun ààrẹ, thank you very very much. Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣeun. There was a question tó dé látọ̀dọ̀ Mr. Kevin látòrí YouTube. Wọ́n ní pé ẹ gbé sórí atẹ́gùn lẹ́kẹ́ tó rí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Wọ́n ní hello ààrẹ, can you confirm how true is the 4-zone geopolitical bill? Mi ò mọ̀ ń pa àwọn ọgbẹ́ wa. I don't know. Mi ò rò pé ó true
Propaganda
ṣá.
ni, propaganda ni. Ṣé rí
Okay.
àwọn nǹkan tó wà sensitive tí mi ò fẹ́ sọ, that we need to be careful about discussing in open here. Ṣé rí restructuring along regional bloc kò pé Igbo. Because once you do that, the Southeast will become officially landlocked. Southeast will become like Serbia in the Balkans. Serbia used to have access to the ocean, to the sea, when they were in Yugoslavia. And even when there was a Serbian empire. But Serbia will need access to the sea anymore because the Western powers dealt with them and destroyed them. They don't have access to the sea anymore. So the civil war has made the Southeast to become the Serbia of Nigeria, a dot in the circle. So it's a regional system of government. So Southeast, to just they want access to the sea at all costs. You think they are going to support it? That's number one. Number two, nínú regional blocks here, there's a problem in the Middle Belt. The Fulanis still want to control the Middle Belt by fire, by force. So tẹ́ bá lọ ṣe regional block ní North Central, they know that Taraba, Benue, Plateau, even Nupe, àwọn Kogi, Kwara will gang up. They will gang up and they are going to fight against them and will not be able to control the North Central. So anything like North Central, because that North Central Middle Belt region, it can lead to a ethnogenesis, another ethnogenesis that can create a form of homogenization. Láti jẹ́ káwọn ibẹ̀ yẹn wà united. Ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ mi yé yín? Torí ẹ̀rí tẹ́ bá wọ́n ṣe create a state ní south, ní northeast, ní northwest, àti ní middle belt. Ni wọ́n make sure pé wọ́n kàn gé, divide and conquer in order not to make the people unite. Wọn ò rí ti southwest ṣe ni, and Azikwe wanted to do it. Azikwe wanted Ondo and Ekiti taken into the south, and he wanted a big chunk of Osun and Oyo and part of Ogun to go and create Yoruba Central State that will be dominated by Yoruba Muslim. This ideology of trying to regionalize Yoruba land along religious lines, Azikwe ló bẹ̀rẹ̀, ló popularize it for his own diabolical agenda. And Azikwe was also making moves using federal might. How were they going to take more land from the southwest and add it to be enlarged Lagos? So, Yoruba people are near Nigeria. I know a lot of you are talking about, in as much Nigeria exists, even Middle Belt, how many people know Middle Belt of regions? How many Middle Belt nationalists led by the regional governments? By the time they ban law, you can't make this law yourself. And you cannot, Tinubu cannot enforce anything. You need to be able to tactically to be able to achieve all these things. Because you work on my house, oh yeah, region. No, you need to negotiate. Negotiation la need. We need to use our huge political and economic power to get everything we want in Nigeria. So torí ẹ̀ ni Dawn Commission needs to be empowered. An institution bíi TYF needs to be empowered. Southwest Development Commission needs to be empowered. Yoruba civilization needs to be empowered. Ọ̀tẹ̀ ká máa ba orúkọ ara wa jẹ́ ní social media, irọ́, ká máa defame different institutions tí wọ́n make tẹ́ pé wọ́n ń they are doing one way or the other thing or the other fúnra Yorùbá torí pé ẹ fẹ́ pick a side for your own market. Ẹ ní láti stop ẹ, and we are going to achieve a lot of things. I'm sorry I will not be able to go deep into that. Nínú South, Akwa Ibom àti Cross River, wọ́n máa prefer kan lọ ní region wọn. They speak the same language. Akwa Ibom, Cross River, language wọn, àbí? Wọ́n gbọ́ ara wọn yé. They see the same food. They have many things in common. Ẹ wá sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ lọ mú Ìjọ people. Tí Ìjọ ti di terrors everybody lọ́rùn ní South. Àwọn Tòǹpòrò tó ti wà armed to the teeth. Tẹ́ pé ìbọn tó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn gan, some countries of the world ò ní. Ẹ wá lọ ṣe regional government pẹ̀lú wọn. We are playing with fire. Baba ńlá fire la fi ń ṣeré. And we need to, that's why I am breaking this down. So that you don't say, go see the kàn yín pẹ̀lú wọn, in tó kàn yín pọ̀. So that is why you must organize from your own from a position of strength. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ní more ethno-linguistic states. Kí gbogbo Yorùbá, kí wọ́n wà nínú Yorùbá majority states. Ṣé ẹgbọ́n tí mo sọ yẹn? Kí gbogbo Yorùbá wà nínú Yorùbá majority states. So that ìran Yorùbá kankan ò ní di minority by any hook or crook in any state in Nigeria. Olódùmarè á ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. For those on the Twitter space, do we still have other people who want to speak or ask questions? Sister Nike àti Sister Ola. Can you hear me from Twitter? Sister Jokade.
Ṣé bí wọ́n pé ṣán wà ní TYF America? Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mẹ́sẹ̀gì mi, èmi mà ti gbàgbé. Mi ò mọ̀ràn tí pẹ́ sọ kankan fún mi. Okay, ẹ ṣé. Ẹni sùúrù ta ló sọ̀rọ̀ tán sí?
Mr. Ogidan.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ má bínú.
Ogidan Osha.
Ẹ má bínú, ẹ wá dákẹ́ fẹ́mfẹ́m. Esco nìyí.
Yeah, Obrien, I can hear you.
So, thank you so much. It's already 2 hours today. Can I give my vote of thanks? I want to really, really thank each and every one of us that has been here for since for the past 2 hours. Sherry, inú mi dùn, ayọ̀ mi kún for the current level of consciousness tó wà nínú ìran Yorùbá. It will be mo mọ̀ pé ní ó máa get better ni. Mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo tó ń bí wa nínú, gbogbo tó ń bà wá ní ọkàn jẹ́, lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tá à ń rí, ẹ má worry. Olódùmarè will make it, will surely make things better nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ní bí ẹkún bá pẹ́ dalẹ́ kan, ayọ̀ ń bọ̀ lówùúrọ̀. There is light, there is hope. In the midst of hopelessness, there is hope. Báwọn bàbá wa ò ṣe give up during the dark period of the 19th century. Báwọn bàbá wa tán kó lọ sí oko ẹrú ní Brazil, ní Cuba, ní Trinidad and Tobago, ní Guyana, ní Barbados, ní Tobago, ní Colombia, ní Uruguay, bí wọn ò ṣe give up, bí Venezuela, àwa náà ò gbọ́dọ̀ give up on our identity. We must not give up on our land. We must continue to be hopeful. Ìrìn àjò yóò easy o. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ la máa jọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn àjò yìí tó máa walk away o. A lot of people are going to leave us in the middle of the battle. A lot of people are surely going to say the fight for Yoruba land is no longer worth it. A lot of people are going to be enticed by material things. A lot of people are going to feel that if they are not making billions from this thing, they are not interested in it. A lot of people are going to feel this is a competition, this is a market. But I'm begging us, ẹ má jẹ́ kó sú wa, ẹ má jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ wá. This is the beginning of the journey. TYF will continue to preach unadulterated Yoruba nationalism that we believe is going to get us to the promised land. And like I said, we are surely going, this is the beginning of great things in Yoruba land. And we must, because in and Nigeria is a clash of civilization. It's a battle for who controls what. And if you control the soul of Nigeria, you are going to rule Africa. So that's why some people are very aggressive in what they are doing. I also want to thank the hosts, Madam Anike, and the co-host today, Madam Lola, on space. And I also want to thank Mr. Bakari and Madam Ajoke, the hosts in the studio. So, but I also want to beg us, if we don't repost, if we don't retweet, if we don't like, if we don't share, we will not be able to take this program to a different level. So we beg you, and we actually need your help. We also need your help as regards if you want to support us. This program, TYF, cost us millions of naira to run TYF. Millions of naira to run TYF every year, every month. And I want to beg us, message you are, please, we beg us. We beg us in the name of God. Can't sọ pé ká fún yín grant, can't sọ pé ká fún yín nígbà, ká fún yín láwo. Owó tẹ́ ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wa ní. mo abẹ̀yìn lórúkọ Olódùmarè, abẹ̀yìn ní orúkọ Ọlọ́run, abẹ̀yìn ní orúkọ Olódùmarè, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run, a lówó lọ́wọ́. Our gan, we are just using what we have to be able to run this institution. Our gan, tá bá tún bẹ̀bẹ̀ ní ká fún yín, kẹ́bẹ̀ fún wa. So our bẹ̀bẹ̀, we are not as rich. We are running a non-governmental NGO. We are running non-profit institution that is not the gold lọ́rùn mi. They have to say this publicly. Please. So we are not making money. We are not making money from this. Today the time done pẹ̀lú pa TYF lára grant tán fún yẹn ẹ mọ power náà. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé mind wa ká gbé kúrò ní mind wípé à ń gba grant. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ gbé mind yín kúrò ní pé mind pé wọ́n ń pín owó. Tẹ́ pé ẹ fẹ́ pín owó ni ẹ kúrò ní Yorùbá nationalism o. Ẹ lọ join òṣèlú sánsan. Tẹ́ pé òṣèlú sánsan náà lẹ́dẹ̀ ń ṣe. Tẹ́ pé gbogbo mindset ni pé kẹ́ sá máa pín owó under the table. Lè go far. Which is why a lot of people hate TYF. Because some believe we are too ideologically sound. Where ideology land follow. So what has been keeping TYF afloat? We are self-funded. So if you really want to help us one way or the other, we'll be happy for you to come on board and actually help us. Ṣùgbọ́n pé bíìlì 1 million lónìí, 3 million lọ́la, a máa pàkó. Program in studio ìlàsàn owó là ń san every month to be able to keep the studio working. People that are working day and night, technicians, administrative officers, in order to keep TYF afloat. Kò ń ṣọ̀fẹ́ o. Tá a bá kó gbogbo owó tá a ní tá a kó lé yín lọ́wọ́, TYF will cease to exist. Ẹ̀yin gan ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ o. So this is not an MMM organization. This is not an ATM. Please, me by less than 6 to 10 requests in my DM every day. Me ò tiẹ̀ ń check DM mọ́. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́, mo f'Olódùmarè bẹ̀ wá. I don't know the impression they are creating for us, for you, for us. Tá bá fẹ́ run anything ní TYF. Mo bá ṣe ń kọ lẹ́tà sí àwọn olóṣèlú o. We don't know how to write official letters to politicians to give us money. It is what we have. If they give, if the little things we have important projects, we use it to run TYF projects. We've been running from paycheck to paycheck every month to run this institution. So I have to say this. Please, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní parun o. Mo f'Olódùmarè bẹ̀ yín o. Mo f'Olódùmarè mo tún fi bẹ̀ yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí to run Yoruba nationalism, to run this kind of an institution. We spend our bill is millions every month. Tẹ́ bá wa pé ẹ ní di ẹlòmíà ní pé òun ní di 10 million, 5 people láti fẹ́ rí. Ẹlòmíà lòun ní di 14 million, bó láti fẹ́ rí. Tẹ́ bá wá rí, ẹ wá mọ bú wa lórí social media. Ẹ mọ sọ̀sọ̀kúsọ sí wa kí ló dé? Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, Afẹ́nifẹ́re ogan ò ní irú owó yẹn. Níbo làwọn bàbá bọ́nà ti fẹ́ irú owó yẹn? They are doing it pro bono. They are doing it for their own life. Kò ń ṣe àwa ń ṣe ìjọ nationalists tí wọ́n ń ṣe oil bunkering. Àwa ò ṣe ìjọ nationalists. Àwọn èdè ṣe bìyẹ́ ti àlà. Táwọn governors wọn tán fún wọn ní millions of dollars every month. Àfọlódùmarè bẹ̀yìn. It's not as easy as you think. Yoruba elites are not what you think. Torí pé àwa lè ṣe tá à ń ṣe yìí. Pé oúnjẹ ọ̀sán, oúnjẹ alẹ́ àti oúnjẹ àárọ̀ ó ti secure fáwa díẹ̀. Láfi lè ṣe tá à ń ṣe yìí. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, I have to say this publicly o, so that àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé torí tá a bá sọ̀rọ̀ síta, wọ́n ní ẹ̀rí bójú wọn ṣe ń dán. Gómìnà gbé sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ní studio yìí. Lẹ́bàá àmọ́ oríṣiríṣi bíìlì. Àwọn ní di 5 million, àwọn ní di 10 million, àwọn ní di bye. Tá a bá ṣe, a máa run down o. Ẹ wo gbogbo ẹ̀ máa tán pátápátá tá a bá tó kíní àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ wà nù tiwa ìtẹ́ pé ojoojúmọ́ ayé wọn torútorú ni wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́. So we have tán ṣe iṣẹ́ òun lẹ́fí rí pé TYF lọ́sàn-án láàárọ̀ in every part of the world àwọn kan ló ń ṣe iṣẹ́ o táwa kan ò dẹ̀ tí fẹ́ pé mo lè má bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ gan and they are getting the job done. Àwọn yẹn ni à ń try láti ensure pé tọ́rọ́kọ́bọ̀ wa là ń foot. So onídídùn ẹ lọ́rẹ owó elépo owó aláta owó alákàrà owó oníyọ̀ la fi ń ràn TYF o. Tẹ́nibọ̀dì bá sọ nǹkan míì fún yín lẹ́yìn tí mo sọ yìí irọ́ ni o. Olódùmarè ó ràn wá lọ́wọ́ o. Ẹ ṣé o.
ẹ ṣeun ààrẹ ẹ ṣeun ààrẹ. Sista Ọláṣẹ wà ń bẹ̀ lórí X. Sister Ola, are you there? Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe the system is no. All right. Oni. Okay. Okay. Yes. If Bunker can speak for just 1 minute, we can entertain that. What do you think, man? Or how many minutes you want to give to Bunker? Okay. Mr. Bunker, please, 1 minute, if you don't mind. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, àwọn ọjọ́ ti lọ. 30 seconds ti lọ o. Thank you. Mr. Gbonka, as you are trying to round off, wọ́n ní wọn ò gbọ́ yín dáadáa lórí Facebook o, pohùn yín lọlẹ̀. So I try the remaining 1 minute kẹ́ ẹ gbóhùn sókè díẹ̀ sí.
ní Germany, àwọn Prussians ló sọ Germany di empire. Ní ẹni sùúrù, ní Turkey, àwọn Seljuk Turks, àwọn ni wọ́n sọ Turkey people di empire. Ní Israel, àwọn Judah, àwọn ni wọ́n sọ Israel di superpower. So I do what you are saying. Yeah, continue. Even láàrin àwọn Fúlàní, àwọn scholastic group wọn mo ti gbàgbé orúkọ yẹn, àwọn ni wọ́n sọ wọ́n di empire.
Tí ìṣiṣẹ́ ẹ bá gbá yín mú. Kò sí. Yeah. Ẹ ṣeun ni. Ah, ah. Do and to break record already. Thank you, Mr. Bonka. Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣeun. Always we appreciate your coming around, and we always appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much. Before I make my final address, please, Sister Joke Pedro, share nìkan tó máa sọ very briefly. Ká lè close.
Kò sí much náà tí mo fẹ́ sọ. Wọ́n ti ààrẹ, in fact, ẹ ṣé, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ti gbọ́ yín, ẹ ṣé gan, thank you so much. Bàbá Gbọ̀ǹkà, èyí tẹ́yìn náà fi kún yìí, breaking table ni ẹ ṣé gan, thank you. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá náà wọ́n ti rí, àti yíra ń pé a lot of àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n ti mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, because the fact is on the ground. Ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ fúnra ẹ̀, speaking for itself. So gbogbo wa náà láti rí. Ó ti di dandan a máa rí àwọn ọlọ̀tẹ̀, ọ̀dàlẹ̀, nǹkan kan. Even àwọn èèyàn kan wà gan tó yẹ pé a máa fi ìpè bóyá a máa sọ pé irọ́ ọmọ àlè ni wọ́n, nǹkan kan. Ṣùgbọ́n ọmọ ọkọ ni wọ́n, tó jẹ́ pé inú ni bí ni, kò kan àìmọ̀wáhù lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn. Ó ti di dandan. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá a ní relent ni. Interest wa ló matter nínú Nigeria. We should think Yoruba first. Come whatever. Ìwé báre ṣe sọ, wọ́n ní pé wọ́n kó wọn ní ilẹ̀ north. Àkẹ́. Kí ló yẹ kó kàn wá? Ṣebí nǹkan tó ń fẹ́ fúnra wọn nìyẹn. Àbáwọn náà kan náà dá wàhálà lẹ̀. Àwọn kan náà fa gbogbo nǹkan tó ti ń tàn káàkiri yìí. Ikú ń jọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀, ikú ń rẹ̀dì. Kò mọ̀ pé nǹkan tó ń dùn ló ń pààyàn. Wọ́n tún wá ń fi titi wọn, wọ́n tún wá fi ń kó bá titi wa báyìí. Normally kò yẹ kó dọ́dọ̀ ìran Yorùbá rárá. Kò yẹ kó kàn wá. Ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá Tinubu, wọ́n ṣeun gan, wọ́n ṣeun. The ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa watch out. Gbogbo wa náà ni ẹ má jẹ́ kí ẹ jẹ́ ká fọ̀tẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Torí tó máa ń sọ pé ọlọ́tẹ̀ dà nísìn. Tá bá ní pé ọlọ́tẹ̀ ni wá, but tó máa ń sọ pé ọlọ́tẹ̀ dà, kò sí èyí tó máa náwó nínú wa. Àwọn nǹkan tí ó máa ń fi bẹ́ẹ̀ yè mí lẹ́nu nìyẹn. Some of the names, it's true, some of the names tó máa ń pè wá, tó máa ní báyìí la jẹ́, kinní kan ni wá. But tó máa ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wa pé alpha ìwọ ń kọ́, kélé anáwọ́, kò sí báyìí lè pọ̀ tó, kò sẹ́ni tó máa náwó pé orúkọ tó ń pè wá yẹn là ń jẹ́. So orúkọ tí wọ́n ń tag wa, àbí tá à ń tag ara wa gan gbà míì, ẹ jẹ́ ká má jẹ́ orúkọ yẹn mọ́. ẹjọ́ ṣùgbọ́n pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ náà a lè ṣe a máa rí èpò náà àlùkámà ó ti di dandan. Tó bẹ́ẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹjọ́ ìlọsíwájú wa ló jà o ọmọ ẹlẹ́ran ni wá o a ní dọmọ eléegun o. A mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ àlùmáńjìrì ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá à ń ṣalágbe à ń ṣa tó ń tọrọ jẹ orí òní jẹ́ adálágbe o.
ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ ṣé fún àdúrà.
ẹ ṣé gan gbogbo olùlé ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o. Thank you so much. ẹ ṣé.
We thank you all once again. Tonight's discussion has reminded us that restructuring is not merely a constitutional debate. It's a conversation about the kind of country Nigeria aspires to be. For decades, Nigeria has spoken about restructuring. Successive governments have acknowledged it. Political states have recommended it. Yet meaningful action has remained elusive. The question, therefore, is no longer whether restructuring is desirable. The question is whether Nigeria has the political will to confront the realities that have made restructuring necessary in the first place. A federation should not fear the devolution of power. A true federation thrives when every component has the responsibility, the resources, and the freedom to develop according to its strengths while contributing to the good, common good of everyone. History teaches us that no political structure remains successful if it continually ignores the aspirations of the people it governs. So as we conclude tonight, let us remember that restructuring is not an end in itself. It's a means to building a Nigeria where justice is stronger than favoritism, where productivity is rewarded over dependency, and where every constituent nation that forms Nigeria can flourish without diminishing another. Perhaps the question before Nigeria is no longer should we restructure? The more urgent question is, can Nigeria afford not to? Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Let the conversation continue. Let's stay engaged. And as always, let's continue to think critically about the future of our people and our nation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Àkókò ti dé báyìí tí a bá fẹ́ ọjọ́ ọ̀la rere a gbọ́dọ̀ rántí ara wa. Ilẹ̀ ìsọ̀rọ̀ nínú wàhálà wa ìran wa ń pè wá padà. Òun nínú kébé má ṣe gbàgbọ́.